Okay, greetings, Patriots. Welcome to 1776 United. And like I said, the mayors of these cities that choose not to ask help from our commander in chief refuse to do anything to fix their cities, and that's why the commander's just going to watch them burn themselves down. Isn't that the proactive way to go, rather than go in there and risk to clean it up? Why would they want to take a risk and clean up a city that doesn't want to be cleaned up? So, everybody has a choice. So, and at this point, I totally agree. So, we will witness, the world and New York will witness Islam and the commies destroy New York. And just be forewarned, everybody out in New York and the New York City, the Jersey boys and the Manhattan people and, Brooklyn, it's all going to come down, because they're going to, basically the jihadis are going to start invading it, and they're going to invade it like you've never seen before. They might even be bringing people in from, Minneapolis or Minnesota or Chicago, or all these other cities that are infested with them, and just go in there and completely bring New York down to its knees. So prepare yourselves. That's what's going to happen. And until the jihadi mayor there that is going to be in power, and he's already said to them on what's going to happen, that the women will have to wear burqas and all this other stuff, and there'll be no more liquor stores, and there's going to be no more of this, no more gambling. All this stuff is going to come in. He's going to put it all in place. They'll be doing their prayers on their rugs right in the middle of the street, just to show their force, to show their domination. They won't even go to a mosque. They'll do it right on the street. And that's basically, they're doing it just to show that they have power over New York. So, and then the communists are going to try to, probably the lefties and NPCs will eventually figure it out, and they'll try to do a power struggle there, and you'll see war in the streets. It will be escape from New York. And maybe the same thing might happen to LA. But, anybody that wants help from the commander and the military and the global alliance, they're certainly going to receive it. But until they ask for it, they're not going to get it. Like it says, Islam will clean up the commies. And then the Islam will basically clean up and kill other Islam, because that's what they do. They're a death cult. So, Mankami is sucking up all the commies from all around America right now, and they're all flocking there. So there's going to be a big, huge transition from people that don't want to be part of that are patriots, that are white hats, that have some level of common sense, will have to pack up their shit and move. Now, I'm talking about the city. I'm not talking about upper state or anybody that's living in the rural outside the cities. Like Buffalo or whatever, stuff like that. It's not gonna, that's basically gonna be stuck in the cities. Now, every imbecile is getting dragged into the light because of this. Every dummy that has been waiting for this opportunity to go into New York and play their part, is all being exposed. Everything is being facial recognition, and they will be doing some serious time, because, like I said before, this is wartime measures. We are in a continuity of government. Our commander is a wartime president. Yes, he did go around to the countries, and the countries that have listened about fighting between each other, they both came to their senses and signed peace pacts. He's done that 9 times around the world. So he's not just focusing his energy. He knows that the United States and some of those blue cities are rotten to the core. But the whole system in Western society is rotten to the core. And it all has to come down. So Let the Islamic burn it all down. Let the commies burn it all down, because that's what's going to happen. It all has to be brought down. Excuse me. So, yes, there will be a bank crash. There is going to be that. But, of course, we're going to go through. I mean, right now, the pain, all the people, the 44 million dummies that were on, or the unfortunates that were on food stamps in the United States, and another maybe 5 million or 6 million that were in Canada going to the food bank, that's all going to be cut off. That's going to wake them up. And then if that doesn't wake up to what they want, to where they're, screaming for help, then they'll hit the banks. Then they'll shut down the banks. And that's going to get everybody, hit them in the pocketbook, right? And then if that doesn't work, they're going to crash the fiat currency, which is going anyways. So if anybody is not preparing for all this, this is the nice surprise that you're going to get. This is the price that we're going to pay. The humanity is going to pay for this price based on our ignorance of allowing the type of satanic bullshit that's been going on. We've been allowing all this child trafficking of tens of millions of little ones, innocent ones. We have no right to rule over our own world, because what we have allowed. And that's why we have maybe the galactics out there saying maybe we should just wipe out the whole thing. But there are good people out there that are saving the world from all this tyranny, destruction, these death cults that are out there. It's all got to come down. Everything, even religion, it's all got to come down, and it's all being exposed right now. I'm not going to elaborate on this too much, okay? Just to say that the White Hats are really doing an amazing job, and the tactic on what they're doing and how they're doing it is it's above level genius. That's what I think. The White Hats are going to let the Black Hats destroy everything in every city that is in chaos or chaotic state of affairs right now. Okay, and if they don't have the mayors removed by the people, to have them removed and other good responsible mayors go in there, then they're going to bring it all down. Okay. And like I said, all the cops that are in there, I mean, they've got this thing pretty much sewed up, because, like I said before, all the cops, if you're there's no way you're going to be a sergeant or a lieutenant or a captain unless you're a Mason. So they have their marching orders too, right? So all this goes on. It goes on and on and on. I mean, it never stops. So yes, we are going to go for more pain. Yes, we're going to go. There's going to be more pain. They're going to dial up the pain until those lefties can't stand it. So what am I saying? Well, I'm saying that for the people that are awake right now, get your money out of the banks. All you're doing is putting money in your enemy's pocket. That's all you're doing. I've been preaching this here for 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 years. I've been preaching it, and nobody's listening. And it's unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen. We got, as what Putin said the other day, there's Britain has invaded 171 nations of the world. 171. That's pretty. England's invaded almost every nation on the planet, at least once. France has murdered 22 African presidents since 1963. France has murdered 22 African presidents since 1963. The United States has 750 military bases in 80 different countries. What is even the purpose of that? How does Russia pose any real security threat to anybody in the world when all this other shit's going on? Please answer me that. Please answer me that. right? This dogma that we're dealing with in this world is has to come to light, and it has to be recognized as evil, and people have to stand up against it. If they don't, well, this bullshit's just going to continue. Now, I think there is a, you can't rely on the media. You can't rely on anything. We have to rely on each other, right? We have to rely on each other for the proper information. I heard the other day that Canada went from 4th in the world of standard of living down to 33, and they're blaming it all on baby Castro. Sure, but it's not 33. I'm going to tell you right now, as a world traveler, being to 12 or 14 different countries in the last 2, maybe 3 years now, I can tell you right now, Canada's about, I would say be anywhere between 100 and 120, maybe even worse. There's better lifestyle where they say is a third world country. That the lifestyle there is actually a better lifestyle than it is in Canada right now. I'm not going to have to pay for an orange that is got poisoned and full of GMO that you have to pay $3, $4, $5 for. I can go get that same orange, which is organic orange, in other countries that is fresh, that is maybe 15 cents. Now try to make sense of that. Try to convince me that it's better to live in Canada than it is in any other country right now. Please. I'm up for the debate. The Philippines, they live 3 times as good as in the Philippines as they do here. Because number one, they eat organic foods every day. They don't even call it, they just call it Filipino food. We call it organic food because they don't have all the bullshit. Monsanto was kicked right out of there for trying to insert their bullshit. Same thing in Thailand. It's a great, wonderful place to live. Beautiful climate, beautiful area. Money's good. You don't have to pay taxes. Japan's beautiful too. They take great care of their food intake, what they do, and they're very, very meticulous in their foods. They're very meticulous the way they dress. They have dignity. And they're very, very kind people. And they're all kind over there. They're kind in Muslim countries too, such as Turkey, such as Egypt. Yes, you're going to get your bad actors, but Canada and the United States is absolute cesspools. There's fucking crime everywhere. And there's only little wee pockets of patriots out there. And like I said before, I don't know, I believe that, there will be a fundamental, financial meltdown, but I think there's going to be more pain coming. Because, humanity hasn't woken up yet. That's what I'm thinking, right? I know right now, just by looking around and seeing things that, the only reason why we have foreigners coming from other countries to Canada to work is because they get a dollar, in their paychecks. So it's $1. So because our money's so propped up, fraudulently, and their money, like say in India, is so manipulated, down so much that the only reason why, they're not making really a pile of money here, but it goes a long ways in what country they're in. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that before this thing switches over and before this whole revaluation happens, go out there and buy some of the foreign currencies out there that have been, manipulated down, and get rid of your dollars, because it's all gonna get into an even playing field. Now, before I go, the people that have been listening to me, okay, about going out and buying silver, going out and buying copper, and all this stuff, you're going to watch that stuff skyrocket, okay? And going out and buying other foreign currencies, you're going to see that all come to fruition. And that stuff is going, because you're listening to what I'm saying there, that's all going to happen before the Gesera, before all this shit happens. I believe these currencies on the Forex are going to have to, they're going to have to do a financial revaluation of all the currencies, and that's where you're going to capitalize in that point. That'll happen probably even before anything happens with your birth certificate money, your family trust funds, and all this other stuff, or Nasera Gesera comes in. I think that's long way down the road. I think if you don't jump on these, the precious metals and start investing in that, or just take a little bit of money that you got and invest into foreign currencies, it's still available. You're going to see that stuff go off first, and you'll be the one to have a pile of money in your pocket, whether it be Zim bonds or whatever for humanitarian purposes, and you won't be a part of the chaos of the crash. I mean, who knows how long this will all take? But I do know that the financial markets, when they shut down the banks for the 8, 10, 12, 14 days, it could even be longer, there could be an EBS that comes involved in that. But we see the mess. This shit ain't going to go away. So how do you separate yourself from all this stuff? How do you separate yourself? Well, you invest in foreign currencies, and when they revaluate, you capitalize on the new rates. Or if silver bounces, and I know right now for a fact, silver will go to the same price as gold, and gold could go up too. So I mean, we could be sitting at $12,000 or $10,000 gold when it gets revaluated, and $10,000 silver per ounce. So there you have it. Anyways, my time is up.